In 12 months' time, Pleasure Beach Experience is hosting its biggest ever club event, as we will be going to America for just over a week to experience several different theme parks for the first time as a club. Unfortunately, we've not been able to do this as a video as we planned, so we are doing it as a podcast kind of video with overlays of hopefully some of the footage from the parks we'll be visiting, some previous event footage from past events that Pleasure Beach Experience has done. Now, this trip is not yet on sale. It will be taking place from Sunday the 20th of June 2021 through to Monday the 28th of June 2021, and it will go on sale in September, on Friday the 4th of September, 7:30 p.m. to be precise. Now, for this podcast come video, I am joined by Mark, who has been a massive help to me organising this trip. So Mark, how much are you looking forward to this trip before we go into details?
Oh, I can't wait for it. Even like when I think back and you sent me that message sometime back in January.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
shall we do this?
Should we do the America 2021? Can we make it happen? Deal.
Yeah.
I think we spent like the next 10 hours just consistent messages all the time, just going, what about here? What about there? What about this? What about that? And it's just built, and the excitement is just built and built and built and built throughout up until now, and it's just going to get more and more until head towards the event. I can't wait for it.
Absolutely. So we had a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H with a number of different theme parks, but they all had to include Cedar Point, and that was the trickiest part of it, was the fact that Cedar Point was so far away from everywhere else, but the biggest, what we feel is the biggest upselling point of the whole trip. And we didn't think that we could do our first ever America event without going to the place that we have raved on about for the last 12 months, if not more. And Cedar Point, for a lot of people, is the Mecca. It is the place that so many people in the world want to go to, but just don't find it easy to get to from the United Kingdom. And hopefully by doing this trip we will make that a lot easier to do.
Yeah, because when we kept looking at how to do it, and it was always like, it's going to be 4 hours from the nearest park. But when you think it's 4 hours from the nearest park, you're then talking 4 hours going back in the other direction again, just to try and make it easier for everyone rather than trying to go from into one airport out of another one. We tried to make it a little bit easier to fly in and out of the same one.
This trip is looking like it's going to be not only the best event that we've ever done, but the best personal trip that I will have ever been on. And the hardest part was, like we say, incorporating Cedar Point, because it could have been, well, we'll fly to JFK and back from JFK, but at some point there would have been a 9-hour journey between New York and Cedar Point, which we did last year, and it was grueling. It
was so tough, especially towards the end of it, and you're getting back there, it's 9 hours, and there's many times where we was messaging and it was going along the lines of, we want it to be a holiday for everybody as well.
Yes.
We didn't want to put people through spending 9 hours on a coach if we didn't have to.
Yeah.
And it was a matter of us trying to plan it in that respect, because everyone's going to be taking time off work. It's you don't want to be coming to the end of the trip absolutely exhausted and then needing another holiday on the back of it.
I think the longest journey time is 4.5 hours, but there will be stops, there will be a toilet on the coach, there will be entertainment on the coach as well, but there'll also be time to sleep on the coach. The reason we're not including flights in the trip is largely because it gives everybody attending an element of choice. For example, there is people who will be travelling from Manchester, from London, from Edinburgh, from Glasgow, from Dublin, even from Prague. There's over 300 submissions on the registration form, and it's people from all over Europe, whether it be England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, Ireland, Czech Republic, Holland, everywhere. And it just gives people that element of choice, because if people want to go to Chicago a couple of days early, there is that option.
Yep.
And if people want to stay at Cedar Point, which is the last park on the trip, for an extra 2-3 days, I really don't blame them. And that is up to everyone to sort of have that element of choice, which I think is the main reason why we didn't include flights on the trip. Now, right now, I don't even know if we're flying from Manchester or London, but I just think it's better to do it like that, to be honest.
It is. It gives everyone the flexibility of when they're going to book the flights as well.
Yeah.
Because we've always said, haven't we, that don't book it until you're certain that you're on the event, and then after that you've got, 9 months to basically get your flights. So it gives everyone that little bit of a flexibility, whereas if we was booking and we were like, we need your money by this time.
Yeah, it'd have to be on a very strict deadline, and then there's always the possibility that we could say to everyone it's going to cost you £500 return, and then when it comes to booking the flights it could be £750, £800 return, which means we're then going back to everyone and saying, right, we need this money off you ASAP before the flight changes again.
And everyone can have their own flexibility of where they want to fly from. If they want to travel a bit further to get a cheaper flight, then they've got that option.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who have spoke to us and said if we get on the trip we're going to fly from Dublin. Now I would imagine that Dublin's prices might be completely different to Manchester's, and they might be completely different to Heathrow. So that is the main reason why we've not included flights on the trip, and I think it just gives everyone that element of choice. And if you do go to Chicago a couple of days before the ground transportation starts, that's really not a problem, because what we would do then is, rather than expecting you to travel all the way back to the airport to get on the coach, we would just say, well, here's the first hotel on the trip, we'll meet you at the first hotel, which then everyone can meet in the first hotel, everyone can sort of get to know each other a little bit. Hopefully there'll be somewhere in the hotel where there's a bar that everyone can sit and just chat and not necessarily even have a drink, unless they just want a soft drink, alcohol, whatever, and just sit, enjoy each other's company and say, well, here we are, we're together for a week, and let's enjoy this amazing trip that we're going to have. Me, Mark and Mike, we're all going to go a couple of days early, so that on the day when most people do travel over to Chicago, we can be there in arrivals, in Pleasure Beach Experience uniform, so to speak, so that we can meet and greet everybody on the trip, and then anyone else that we don't meet and greet at the airport, we can do so in the first hotel. But onto the coach transportation. The coaches look fantastic, the fleet looks excellent, there's going to be climate control, there's USB ports, there's televisions.
Yeah, the televisions, like I say, in the USB, there's the recline, the seats, everything, so you've got a little bit of comfort, and like we've said previously, it's just, there's not going to be a massive amount of, I think the longest one is actually getting from Cedar Point back to Chicago. All the rest have been like 2-3 hours maximum, so they'll be comfortable for it. That's
the thing. I think one of the longest journeys, if we'd have done it in one go, would have been to the 2 Six Flags parks in between them, which would have been the best part of, I think, 6 hours. But we've broke that journey up by getting a hotel just over halfway there, and I think it will make a massive difference. So on to the itinerary of the trip. We're quite a way into this podcast come video, and we've not really discussed the full itinerary, so we'll do that now. I'll go through the whole thing first, and then we'll break down each park to discuss each park in terms of what they've got, what we're looking forward to, and just why it's going to be a great day at each of those parks, especially as we've not visited some of them, and I already know we're going to have a great time just from emailing them. So obviously, first day, 20th of June 2021, that's ground transportation to the hotel, which I have to say, the hotel has been fantastic. They've looked after us so well, they've been so friendly by communications, and breakfast is included. But we'll put all the hotel details in the sort of you've booked on package, so all the information will be out there at that point. So on Monday the 21st of June 2021 will be Six Flags Great America. The day will begin with a short drive from the hotel to Six Flags Great America. We anticipate the drive will be around 15 minutes at most. Six Flags Great America is the home of 16 roller coasters, including the world's first B&M Invert, Batman, an RMC, wooden roller coasters, a B&M Hypercoaster, and plenty more to enjoy throughout the day. We are currently working on our plan for the day with Six Flags Great America in terms of pricing, event activities, and so on. Our time at Six Flags Great America will be followed by a 226-mile journey to the second hotel on the trip, approximately taking 3 hours and 30 minutes. On Tuesday the 22nd of June 2021 is Six Flags St. Louis. That's a bit of a mouthful actually. The day will again begin with breakfast in the hotel, followed by the remainder of the journey to Six Flags St. Louis. The remainder of the journey is likely to take just over 2 hours. Six Flags St Louis has 9 roller coasters, including 3 wooden roller coasters. We are currently working on a plan for the day with Six Flags St Louis in terms of pricing, event activities, and so on. Our time at Six Flags St Louis will be followed by another long journey, 234 miles to be precise, to the third hotel on the trip, approximately taking 3 hours and 30 minutes. On Wednesday, the 23rd of June 2021, is Holiday World. The day will again begin with breakfast, followed by a short journey to Holiday World. The journey to Holiday World is likely to take just over 30 minutes. Holiday World is the home of 5 roller coasters, including the highly regarded and much loved wooden roller coaster, the Voyage. Holiday World has 3 wooden roller coasters in total, 2 Steelies, along with lots of other attractions, including a water park. We have held very positive discussions with Holiday World, including packaging up a group rate price for the park admission, which will also include 1 main meal with sides too. Soft drinks are free for everyone at Holiday World. We are confident we will be able to do an ERT on at least one of the roller coasters at Holiday World. Following the day at Holiday World, there will be an 88-mile journey to the 4th hotel on the trip, approximately taking 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's worth noting that the next hotel, the time zone will be different by an hour. On Thursday, the 24th of June 2021, is Kentucky Kingdom. Thankfully, the hotel is located only 5 minutes away from Kentucky Kingdom. However, this is the one hotel which does not have breakfast included. So I'm currently looking at options within the local area, what we can do in terms of breakfast. If it was my choice personally, we'd just go to McDonald's. But I know that that's not what everyone likes to do, so I'll have a look around in the area and see what else can be done. Maybe the hotel will put breakfast on, we don't quite know, but it's not looking good for that. We have agreed an itinerary with Kentucky Kingdom which includes park entry, a meal voucher, which I think is for a main meal and sides, and also we have an ERT session guaranteed on at least one of the roller coasters. Kentucky Kingdom is the home of 6 roller coasters. Their newest roller coaster, the Kentucky Flyer, opened in 2018 and is a family wooden roller coaster manufactured by the Gravity Group. Kentucky Kingdom also has an RMC, a unique Hyper GTX roller coaster from Chance, a Vekoma SLC, which Mike's particularly excited about, and a Din Corporation wooden roller coaster. There's a kiddie coaster too, and a water park. Following the day at Kentucky Kingdom, we will then make the journey towards Kings Island, which I believe, I haven't got the mileage wrote down, I believe it will take around 2 hours time. The day at Kings Island will begin with breakfast, followed by the short journey to Kings Island, which will take 5 minutes approximately. We will give the group every opportunity to do the famous night ride on the Beast before heading back to the coach. Kings Island is the home of 15 roller coasters, including new for 2020 Orion, which is a B&M Hyper/Giga coaster. Nobody really knows the answer to that. We are working with Kings Island to put together a package which includes park entry, all-day dining, unlimited drinks, Fast Lane Plus, and a group perk that I'm not going to tell anyone about until we're there, because it's really good. And then on Saturday the 26th and Sunday the 27th of June, we are spending 2 days at Cedar Point. But what I did forget to mention is after Kings Island, we are making the journey straight to Cedar Point. So that is going to be, I'm not going to lie to everyone, that is going to be quite a grueling journey, but we'll be able to sleep on the coach knowing that the next morning we will wake up next to the world's best amusement park, Cedar Point, which is the home of 17 amazing roller coasters. Steel Vengeance is obviously a roller coaster that just about everybody who rides it, except for me with my big fives, loves. But in general, Cedar Point is going to be amazing. We're going to have 2 full days on park with a 3-night stay in Sandusky. We are still working on the itinerary with Cedar Point. We do have some great things lined up so far. We're looking at packaging up group entry, Fast Lane Plus, catering, drinks, everything that we've got at Kings Island, but with a few extra things thrown in too. There is a couple of other ideas I'm working on for Cedar Point as well, but I don't want to talk about those just in case they don't work out at this point. But let me tell you, Cedar Point is the best amusement park in the world, and it's worth doing this trip for that alone. But it is going to be an amazing trip, and I'm just smiling at the itinerary. After Cedar Point, of course, we have got to get back to Chicago, which we'll be doing on the following day. A lot of people have asked me what sort of time we're going to be leaving Sandusky to Chicago. Honest answer at this point is I really don't know, but we'll probably leave quite early in the morning to give everyone the best possible opportunity to get flights on the afternoon or evening of that particular day. So Mark, I'll bring you in at this point. My voice needs a rest after all that. So I don't know if you want to go through park to park or whatever, but what are you looking forward to on the trip the most?
Oh, there's something at every park for everybody. Yeah. I think that's when we picked them, we just picked it so that there is something everywhere. Yeah. There is. Realistically, there's no weak park.
No, there isn't.
On it, I'm just excited for that first day, that first morning.
Yeah.
And obviously, you go to Six Flags Great America. They've got the RMC Goliath that looks absolutely superb.
Yes, it does.
You've obviously got a B&M Hyper as well. The people are just enjoying. I think the buzz from being the first day.
Yeah,
it'll be so much fun, and everyone will be getting to know one another. It'll be such a good day. It really, really will be such a good day, and I can't wait for that. I can't wait just to sit on that RMC, to be honest.
So I'm just thinking back to past events that we've done, and I think about the excitement of Leesburg when everyone goes in through the park entrance. I'm thinking of the excitement we all had at Phantasialand, at Efteling, at Wallaby Holland, even events at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, Alton Towers. There's just that feeling of you're there with like-minded people who all love what you love, riding roller coasters, but you all do it together, and there's always such a good feel, especially on ERTs. I can't get over how amazing ERTs are. The first time I did one, I was just like, this is for me, I need to do more of these.
Yeah, it'll be so good. There's so many different things to look forward to, but each day, like, I think the atmosphere on that first day will be incredible. It really will, and just to be a part of it, and everyone will be just so happy. They will be so happy on it. I'll tell you.
Agreed. So Six Flags St Louis was one that could potentially have been a weak park. I'd not heard much about it. Then I had a look at what they've got, and I'm thinking, no, this is not a weak park. For a start, they've got the Batman clone, which that'll do me. I'm happy with that. But there's the Woodies.
I've got to be honest with you. I'm just looking forward to Mr. Freeze.
Yeah,
I am really looking forward to looking at that, because it's just unique.
Yes.
And I'm intrigued by it.
We might never get to do another one of those as well, because they're known to be quite temperamental, and I can't help thinking parks will eventually start ripping them out for more modern technology that actually works a bit better.
They're just a bit more reliable, isn't it? But I just think I hope it's open. And I just really looking forward to it. But there's a number of wooden coasters in there, like the Boss and that.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't wait for it. I've got to be honest with you.
I'm looking forward to doing another Batman clone. Obviously, we'll be doing it straight after the original, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, well, we did the second one, didn't we? At Six Flags Great America. And I've got to a great adventure. Great adventure.
There's too many Six Flags Great, this or the other.
I know. And that one, there was no let up in it. No. So you'd imagine this one will be something similar.
I mean, even if it's like the one at Park Warner, count me in. I'm happy with that.
Count me in. Get me on that back row. Don't move me.
Yeah. So in terms of the Six Flags parks, we are working with the parks to look at putting a couple of things together, like group rate entry, which is something they do anyway for groups, but also we're looking at what we can do with packages in terms of catering. But we would love to do an ART on the first day of the trip. But at this point, at the time of doing this podcast come video, there is the issue of coronavirus, and of course a lot of the parks are not open yet, including Six Flags Great America and St. Louis, and they've both said we will get back to you as soon as we can, because we've hosted coastal clubs before, we want to host yours. We've not had a UK coastal club for years. We'd like to change that. So I think the last roller coaster club from England to go there was the RCCGB about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. So I think they'd be very happy to host a British club again. And also I think that they host the American Coaster Enthusiasts quite regularly as well.
Yeah, I think they'll look after us. Like I say, it's all up in the air at the moment, because we can't really get in communication, because there's nobody there.
Skeleton crews, basically.
There's nobody there, so we'll just keep working on it. Yeah. But like we have obviously considered like fast lanes and stuff like that, so to maximise your time as possible, and then you can have a bit of a relax as well, and you're not thinking that I've got to get in this queue. I've got fast lane, so I'm good. It's
just a vital thing, because one thing that you have to consider at the Six Flags parks, and this is something we fell foul of last year, is they don't let you leave anything in the stations. Now, I don't know if it'll be the same at Great America and St. Louis, but if you read through the Six Flags terms and conditions on all of their parks' websites, they have the same rules in every park. So you really do have to be sort of keen on that you're going to have to get a locker and put your stuff in a locker between every single ride, which does really hold things up, especially if you've then got to queue an hour.
Yeah.
So you just want Fast Pass. If you've got Fast Pass, yes, the locker is a pain in the backside, but it doesn't quite matter as much when you're thinking, do you know what, it's fine. I'll put it in, I'll walk up the exit, I'll get straight on it, I'll go back, I'll get my stuff. Or, you know what, I like that ride, I'm going to do it another 5 times while I'm here because I don't have to queue once.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So that's why we're trying to get Fast Pass included at Six Flags and the Cedar Fair parks. However, we don't feel it's quite as necessary at the
Holiday World
in Kentucky Kingdom.
They've not got like 16 roller coasters either, so
yeah, there is that as well. They've not got quite as much to get around. That's the thing with Six Flags. When you think that between both of those parks there's nearly 30 coasters between both of them, that's quite an effort in 2 days to get around everything without Fast Pass. I mean, it's difficult enough to get around some of the parks at home without Fast Pass, which have got like 9 or 10 coasters.
Yeah.
But the parks abroad are a lot bigger as well. That's something else to consider. But yeah, Holiday World, Kentucky Kingdom. I'm just looking forward to everything about those places. I can't. Obviously, the Voyage looks amazing. Storm Chaser looks amazing. But I'm just happy about going to both of them. I'm not bothered in particular about anything. I just can't wait to go.
I'm just looking forward to the launch B&M wing as well. You've got to be honest with you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not so sure about that one.
I don't know. It's the only B&M with a launch, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
So they'll take that one off the bucket list.
Well, there's that, and that'll be 2 I've done with a launch then, because of the Hulk. But it's a different launch.
Yeah, different.
It's
launch.
not the Hulk's a tyre launch, so yeah, very different. And it's like a lift hill as well.
Yeah. So as I said, with Holiday World, it looks a very, very friendly park.
Yes, it does.
You know, and I think they will look after us. The Voyage, I can see me lapping that.
Yeah, I can as well.
on many occasions.
I'll be honest, I've watched the PLV a million times and I keep thinking, I can see Mark in the back seat lapping it constantly, not worrying about his thighs until he gets back in the coach and going, I can't move.
It'll just be so much fun though.
Yeah.
You know, it'll just be a good laugh, like, especially if there's a lot of us on the train. Everyone will love it.
Yeah, they will. It's going to be amazing. I just think that we will probably get an ART at Holiday World. It's looking like if we can make it go through, it'll be the Voyage, which for an hour.
Don't move me.
Imagine it.
Don't move me.
No, it'd just be amazing. And then moving on to Kentucky Kingdom, again, very highly recommended park from everyone that's been. The social media team at Kentucky Kingdom they're just so fun. You can just tell we're going to have a lot of fun there.
Kentucky Kingdom, it's just an airtime park, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Everything about it is just airtime, apart from T3. Now, Kentucky Kingdom will be ace.
Yeah.
It will be so good. It's like, you just look at Storm Chaser, it just looks like airtime. And then you get lightning run as well. Especially with those RMC restraints on it, I think it'll be so much fun.
Yeah.
I literally can't wait to get on both of those.
I tell you what, it's going to be interesting. Going back to one of the Six Flags parks is the Vekoma and Aerodynamics Love Child in Six Flags St. Louis Ninja. It just looks so strange. I mean, that's the best way to put it.
That was built with a set square.
Yeah, it just looks so bizarre. But moving on, let's move on. We've got the Cedar Fair parks, the final 2, and Kings Island is something a lot of people have asked me about, because last year we gave it a bit of a slating, and I think we said in our wrap-up video that we regretted doing that vlog, and we regretted the way that we thought the day went, because part of the problem was we'd had a dreadful journey there. We were all tired. We'd even spoke about not going the night before. The weather was damp and unpleasant. We were fighting against a storm, so we had to rush around.
I think even like on the actual vlog itself, I said I'd like to give it another go.
Yeah.
Because everything went against us on that day, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind a few more laps of somewhere like Diamondback, I wouldn't mind going on the front.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll know what you get from Orion anyway.
Yeah. And
that'll be alright. And to be honest with you, what I'm really looking forward to that park more than anything is Mystic Timbers. So I think a full lot of PBE on Mystic Timbers
in the shed,
get a karaoke going.
Yeah.
And it'll just be like, yes, this is why I'm part of the group.
And I think the whole rushing around didn't help. We were tired, and I just didn't enjoy it. But I think that I'd really like to do it again, and I'm glad we're doing it on the trip.
When you've got the day, I mean, it's open 10 till 10.
Yeah.
You've got 12 hours. You'll have Fast Pass.
he can do everything loads of times, and there'll be no rush like we had of where we left at. Well, like we say, we had the storm, so we left at 5 o'clock. I think me and Andy left at 5 o'clock.
You left before then. We left at 5. You left about 3. Half 3.
I think we were back at Cedar Point for about 6 o'clock in time for TGI Fridays.
Yeah,
but the journey didn't help. Doing it there and back in the same day was not a good idea.
No,
and I'm glad we're not doing that this time. I know we're doing the trip from Kings Island to Cedar Point straight after Kings Island, but everyone will have a chance to sleep on the coach, us included, because this year, or this time, we're not driving.
We're not driving, but we picked the hotel, like you said previously, innit? It's like 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
10 minutes away.
So there's no travel in the morning.
No travel in the morning. Be able to have a lie-in, be able to have a good breakfast. Yeah, it's a 12-hour day, but you'll have fast pass, so you can just sit around and get something to eat.
Yeah.
All day dining. You know, it's not like you're rushing around and doing anything, and it'll be a more relaxing experience.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get to do the beast. When you talk to like American coaster enthusiasts, it's like you need to do a night ride on the beast. You know what? It's on the bucket list. Night rider, let's do it. Let's tick it off. You'll be able to look back and think, I have done a night ride on the beast. Tick, done.
I've seen people do Cedar Point in one day, and I don't know how, and I don't think I could, because I don't think I could enjoy it like I do. But the thing with Cedar Point for me is, and this is funny really, because me and Becca were talking about this recently, and we were saying that Becca was saying to me, like, no one ever talks about the atmosphere at Cedar Point, and it's a fair point because they don't, but it is actually really good. And I think you walk on the midways and it's just a feel-good factor about it. You've got rides coming out of your ears, they're everywhere, and you can just stand, watch them, taking people enjoying themselves on the rides. You can enjoy them on the rides. There's just a great buzz about it. It's going to sound stupid in a part which is full of roller coasters, but Cedar Point is not all about the roller coasters. There's a big part of it which is also walking on the boardwalk around the park, watching Magnum, watching Gatekeeper, watching everything from outside next to Lake Erie. I just love it. I love that place so much. I just can't wait to experience it with 50 odd other people from Pleasure Beach Experience, and a big lot of the group will have never been before, and that is what I can't wait for.
We'll stand at the main entrance. Gatekeeper will be over the top.
Yeah.
You'll be like, I am at Cedar Point. You'll walk in, and then you'll just see the midway leading basically to Topfield Dragster,
and you can just see everything to the left and right of it.
Yeah.
And it is just the most incredible walkway in any amusement park. It will make you probably emotional when you see it. It's just incredible.
When we originally planned it was like, we need to do Cedar Point, and it's not the easiest place to get to in the world.
Isn't.
It's not the easiest place, and we try to make it as easy as possible so it's accessible for everyone. And like I say, obviously when you walk down that midway, and it's only just come to me now, and I don't know why, but when you see the corkscrew going over the top of the midway,
it's a big part of it, and that's why I know it's not really a subject for today, but I always think when Cedar Point get rid of the corkscrew or close it, they won't actually get rid of it. No. It will stay there because it is an integral part of the midway.
It'll be like
Towers corkscrew. It'll stay and it won't move.
Yeah.
Getting to the point where we need to wrap this up, just a quick note on the budget. We think that the budget for the trip will be between 1,500 and 2,000. We're not sure on an exact price. That will include the deposit, which includes the coach hire, or the coach travel I should say, includes your hotels, park entrance, park perks, everything that we can include possible in that price. It will all be revealed July kind of time, where we'll have the full details, and the trip will then go on sale on Friday the 4th of September, 7:30 p.m. via pleasurebeachexperience.com. If you're interested in signing up for more information and would like to be updated at all times whenever there's any new information, please go on pleasurebeachexperience.com and look for the America page. I can't think the exact URL, so I will put a link in the top of this video so it will take you straight there. I'll also put a link in the description of the video as well, just so it's easy to get to. You can still register your interest. You don't have to be signed up to Pleasure Beach Experience. You don't have to be signed up to past events. You don't have to have been to past events. You don't have to have met us. As long as you're over 21 or you're under 21 and coming with a family member who is older than 21, that is absolutely fine. But like I say, 56 people is the limit of the trip. and all the details on the group limit and what we'll do if we get more than 56 and so on is all on our webpage, which is linked in the description. But for now, I'm going to leave it there because we have chatted for a lot longer than I expected. I hope we've made this an informative video. I hope that we've convinced you to attend the trip with us, because we'd really love that. And I really can't wait for the day where I'm stood on the grandstand outside Top Thrill Dragster when I see a full train of Pleasure Beach Experience trip members riding Top Thrill Dragster for maybe the first ever time, as it tells you to put your arms down and you get launched to 400 and odd foot high in the sky. Yeah,
just one obviously thing. If you sat there and you're listening to this and you think, well, I'm on my own, just book on.
Yeah.
Really just book on it, because you'll be around like-minded people.
Yeah.
People will talk to you.
Exactly, and an example of that is yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's only 3 years since you came to your first trip, and now you come everywhere with us. So, and we didn't know you before that. We'd spoke to you once at Pleasure Beach,
yeah.
And even at Doyle Park, I don't think we spoke that much.
No.
But here we are. You're organising the biggest ever PB event only 3 years later. So, I think if you're worried about coming along because you'd be on your own, don't worry about it, because you won't be on your own.
No.
You will make friends instantly.
Yeah, let's say it's not like you're going somewhere and you don't have similar interests.
Yeah.
Everyone will have the same interests as you. Everyone will love the coasters. Everyone will talk to you, and you will realistically make friends for life.
Exactly. That's the thing. I've made more friends through being a roller coaster enthusiast running Pleasure Beach Experience events than I ever made in school, college, or any time before it. Made friends for life, and I think that's what coaster clubs do. They make friends for lives, and I think we've got a lot to thank Andy Hine for in that aspect. They brought a lot of us geeks together, but also at the same time, there's no pressure to be with everyone all the time. When we're in the parks outside of the ERT activities, you don't have to stick with everyone. If you think, do you know what, I've never been to this park, I don't want to be walked around by Scott, Mike and Mark, I want to do my own thing, that is absolutely no problem. No pressure to all the time be with each other, but at the same time you'll never be on your own if you don't want to be. And that's the best way I can put it. But you're very welcome to attend. All the information is on the website, and I really hope to be sending you a message in September saying thank you for booking on Pleasure Beach Experience's American Dream. But yeah, that is it from now, so I'll let Mark say anything else he wants to say before we cut off.
No, I'm all good. Just come and enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's literally 1 year to go.
Yeah, 1 year to go. Let's do this. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you soon in the next Pleasure Beach Experience video, podcast, or however else we can communicate. But thank you for listening, and we'll see you all soon.